everyone, and welcome to the first 2025 vlog of Whitby Guernsey Knit. My name's Alana, if you don't already know, and I live in a little village in between Whitby and Robin Hood's Bay, which is in North Yorkshire, England. I started this vlog in 2023 to record my journey of knitting a Guernsey, or gansey, hence the name. And since I completed that Guernsey, I just come on every now and again to show you what I've been up to in regards to knitting. So it's a very drab day today, no sunshine at all. We have had wonderful sunny days, very cold, but today is not one of them. However, according to the meteorologist, we are past halfway through winter, so roll on spring and summer, and let's hope we get a nice one. So what am I going to do today? Well, I'm going to talk to you about what I've been knitting and what I've already knitted and my future plans, and then at the end of the video there I went to Guisborough Walkway and Forest, which is about 25 miles from Whitby. It's the next town northwards of Whitby, on a lovely walk, really nice place, and there's lots of trails, and I came across a wellbeing trail, and every so often there was a post with an instruction regarding nature and well-being, followed by a quote. So I filmed a little bit of that. I didn't do the whole trail, but it was lovely. So I filmed that and put some of the quotes and instructions on the posts. So that's well worth a visit. So you don't have to watch that, as I'll put it right at the very end. So let's get on. Before I do start, I'm going to talk about before I start. A designer called Loro Piana, an Italian designer. Why I'm talking about him is because in November I went down to London, and Harrod's window had a wonderful display of sacks, loads and loads of sacks of wool, and then of course clothes, obviously made from this wool. It was beautiful. It was their Christmas display. It wasn't really attractive for children, but it was wonderful for me because all the objects, it showed the process from getting the wool to the designs and the actual completed garments. So it showed you the looms. They made some mock-ups of looms and all sorts of different things that you need to do for the wool trade, but it was all made in natural wood. So what he does, he uses undyed natural wool, which comes from New Zealand merino sheep, and he calls this wool Pecora Nera, and it's just naturally coloured wool, but it's as soft and as can be, and really light. It was absolutely beautiful. Apparently it's finer than silk. I've seen an article on the Times, which you can go online and see, talking about him. Really interesting. Anyway, I've put some photos up and some little descriptions of what it's about, so I'll put those on. It was just interesting and really nice to come across unexpectedly. So that's that. I'm also going to talk a little bit about Ravelry to do with my knits. So let's get on. So the first thing I knitted, and I can't remember whether I showed you this or not. I showed you the beginning of it, but I don't know whether I'd completed it since my last vlog. So it was it's a jumper for my grandson. So it's knitted in paint box double knitting yarn, which I really like, and it's just few twisted ropes and double moss stitch. Really, really easy knit. It was knitted in, it was from, sorry, not knitted in, it was knitted in paintbot yards, but it was from this pattern, which is an old pattern. I think it was even second hand, I'm not sure, but that was a nice pattern to use. So that was the first thing. The second thing I knitted was using this shades of Weardale wool, which is merino silk 4-ply, because as I was going on in the last vlog, wool against my skin really, really irritates. So I was wanting to knit some things in different type of yarn to see how it would feel against my skin. So I bought these One-Skein different yarns from that show, which are beautiful, but limited me to what I could knit really. So anyway, so the first thing is a shawl, and it was knitted from this pattern, which is from Natural Knits by Trisha Fothergill. Now I had a really going on with this. The poor Trisha. I must have knitted it up 6, 8, 10 times, and I kept going wrong. The pattern didn't seem difficult at all, but I just could not get it right as I was going along. So in the end I thought, well, the pattern must be wrong. So I knitted it 2 days, and I just kept pulling it out, and I thought the yarn's going to be ruined. So I emailed her and I gave her such a shock, poor thing, because she said she sold hundreds of these patterns and no one's complained before. Anyway, she gave me a tip, and she said I might be, what was it, where you got to the middle. She said I was maybe reading that incorrectly. So I knitted it on some Aran yarn, and it just worked straight away anyway. So I don't know whether I had misinterpreted the pattern, I don't know. So this is the result, and it's beautiful, really, really beautiful, really nice against my skin, and the colour's gorgeous. So it goes with lots of things like navy blue, and I have worn that quite a lot. So that's the first thing of my knitted up with my purchases from the Yarn Festival. The next thing I'm going to talk about is Ravelry, in the way that the next pattern is from Ravelry, but it's down to a lady called Amber, who lives in Western Pennsylvania, and she has a vlog called A Lovely Yarn, and I like watching her vlogs. They're really calming, and she actually reviews lots of patterns. She hasn't knitted all the patterns, but she reviews them on Ravelry. So when you go into A Lovely Yarn vlog, in the description you can just you go to a link and it takes you to Ravelry, where she puts all her reviews and recommendations in a bundle. So my next knit is from Ravelry, and this was a free pattern which I downloaded to my tablet and knitted from there, which wasn't a problem. It's called Wendy's Fern Shawl, and it was the free PDF from Ravelry. I'll put a photo of that on so you can see. So this is Wendy's Fern Shawl, and this was as simple as can be, but look at it. It started so thin, I thought, what on earth is going on? But it wraps around your neck and it looks really nice, but it's a really, really simple pattern. If you wanted to do it bigger, you could just keep going, or if you were going to run out of yarn, you could stop. So that's really nice. That's knitted in another skein from the Yorkshire Wool Festival, and that's the Woolly Tangle, knitted up really nicely, feels totally different to that one. And this is 4-ply fingering superwash, and this is 60% merino wool, 20% yak and 20% silk. And that, they do feel different, but equally as nice. So that was what I had left from the first skein, and then if I can find it, I only had that left from this one. So that worked out really well, really good use of my One-Skein. So that's all I've got knitted from my One-Skeins. I still have, I'll talk about that later, a few more to do. So the next thing I knitted was a scarf which I just did the pattern myself. And this was, I'll get it out. This was Serda cashmere merino silk in double knitting. And I just knitted, I had 5 balls, I think, yeah, 5 balls, and that's what I've got left. I just knitted until I was going to run out of wool. So this hasn't been blocked. So I just did a basic scarf casting on with a rope in the middle. Initially though, I wanted to do it double. So I did like, when you join in something at the bottom, maybe I should have recorded that, where you join it in the bottom, then you start knitting, you have to knit in the round, and it looked lovely, really, really nice. But as I was going on, it was taking so much yarn. I only had 5 50-gram balls. I was going to end up with a scarf that was just not going to fit round me. So I just knitted it up, and as I was going, it was going up, it was curling and curling. So I pulled it out, and I did an edging just at the corner, which was not wide enough, of pearl, and I should have done more because it was still curling. So in the end, I went all the way down the length of the scarf and did two rows of just plain knit, and then cast it off. And I cast it off with a needle 2 sizes bigger than I was knitting with, size 8s of 4mm, and UK 4mm. And it really should have been casted off with an even bigger needle to make it even looser. But it's fine, and I wear that because we've had such cold days. It's been nice. It hasn't been blocked or anything yet. So that was an easy knit, and that is fine round my neck. And it's funny how they all feel so, I know there's slightly different things in them, but they all feel so different and knit up so differently. So that was that, and I had that amount left of that. Then the next thing, one of my daughters bought me for Christmas a lovely, she got me a Secret Santa that we do with the family, and she'd put in, it was a lovely box full of ribbons, buttons, lots of felt things to make, lots of things, along with 2 of these, well, these 2 cakes. And these were just from Aldi, actually, she said. And it's called, so it's a crafty wool, rainbow yarn. And it doesn't, well, it does say which needles to use. So I thought it was crochet hook, and it's kind of a bit like Aran. It's thicker than double knit, but it's kind of like Aran. But I only had 1 of each, 100 grams of each. And I'd seen on, I have to look at my notes, another vlog called Transforming a Plain Canvas Bag with Granny Squares, and I have some plain bags. So I thought, oh, I know, I'll crochet, because I quite like crocheting, because it gets done really, really quickly. I'll do that, and it shows off the the nice yarn, and I edged it in some cream Aran that I had, which went down. So I've crocheted this bag, and it'd be really handy. So that was just a little project to do, which didn't take any time at all, but I really liked that, and it was unexpected. So that brings me on to just check everything. My final knit, which is another jumper for my grandson, and I just finished this last night actually. So it's just very plain. It wasn't going to be plain, but I knitted it up just in the plain knit-align perler line. I can't think of what it's just called. I was doing this because I really like this pattern, but as I started the rib at the bottom, you can't even see the rib. So I went a bit further and put in the ropes, and you couldn't see anything at all, and it was so difficult. And I thought, well, what's the point? It's one of these it says self-patterning yarn, it's Fair Isle effect, and I thought, what is the point of doing that when I've got plenty of wool that I can knit this pattern, because I really like it. I can do it in a cream or any colour, plain colour. So this was King Cole Fjord and Fair Isle effect self-patterning yarn, and it is anti-pilling acrylic. So that took 200 gram balls, and I've got that amount left to do something else with. It's really soft, it's lovely. But when I was knitting this, the front turned out like that, and when I came to do the back turned out just following on, the back turned out really similar. So then I decided to do the neckline, because I'd come to the this type of pattern. So I decided to do the neck to keep it the same as the bottom. I then did a sleeve. Which sleeve did I do first? That one. So that worked out really well. And then when I came to the next sleeve, I was not in a place where I would start with this two-tone dotty blue for the rib. So I had to roll some off, start and do the rib, then I had to roll some more off to do the next little bit, because I thought it looked silly, and then I could rejoin back to the paler colour. So that was the only thing that was wrong with that. And then there's two contrasts there, but that doesn't matter. I think that looks all right, but it's still dark at the back. So it was a bit, wasn't playing out how I wanted it in a way, but I suppose that's because of how it is. But it's lovely, and it's a lovely play jumper. So that concludes my projects that I've finished. I haven't started anything else because, as I said, I only finished that last night. Now then, I have got some wool left to do. So when I went to the Yorkshire Yarn Festival, I bought that skein, so I have that to knit up. And I also bought, if I can find it, that skein to knit up. As you can see, I tend to pick blues, don't I, and pinks. And then I bought two 50-gram balls of merino double knit. Now I think I've got enough scarves. So I'm not going to knit any more scarves, but what do I do with these? Well, I can knit socks with them, which I could do and I might do. But then what do I do with these two double knits? And it says on here, 100% merino, luxurious Scottish wool, so soft it can be worn next to the skin. So I thought, oh, I might knit a scarf with that and put in another colour. So I went down to my local boys store and bought this, which it goes really well with that. Highland Heathers double knitting. So I got that to go with the cream, but I'm not going to knit a scarf. I just won't wear any more scarves. So I think I might knit either some mitts, and I've been looking at on Ravelry at mitts, but I'm going to go through my own patterns, because I've seen actually on Ravelry, and it was actually on a lovely yarn that Amber was reviewing, and she was reviewing some mitts and they were lovely. But the only thing with when you do hand knitted mitts, the wind just blows through them. I have got some Aran ones and the wind just blows through. I've seen a pattern where you can knit it double thickness, but on a lovely yarn, she was reviewing a lovely pair which you knit one, and then I think you must purl one. I haven't looked at it properly in the other colour, so you're alternating the colours, and it looked really, really nice, but it was in fingering weight, in 4-ply. So whether I adjust, I don't know, but I think I'd like to do that. They look nice together, don't they? A really good tip that she said as well was, if you're looking at and you want a contrast colour, take a photo of them together and then in black and white, and when you look, if it's a good contrast, it's going to go well together. And I mean, you can tell these are going to go well together. So I took a photo of that together, and really good contrast, those together. And then I took a photo of those together, and there was hardly any, it was so insipid. So that's a really good tip if you don't know about that. So that's what I think I might do next, use those. So that's that. I have bought some wool. I've bought, I don't know if I showed you this. I think I maybe did. That's to knit up to 100 grams of that. That'd be for my grandson. And then I went on Wool Warehouse, and they had in my favourite wool, in my favourite colour, little Dots double knitting emu treasure. I absolutely love this. It knits up beautifully. So I bought 8 balls of this, and these are 50 grams, aren't they? Yeah, 50 grams. So 8 balls of that, and I think I might do for my grandson a spring cardigan with a collar, or I think that's what I might do. So I bought that while I was on. They had a sale, because these are all sale wools, and I bought 2 balls of this Christmas Classics Festive Feet, ready for Christmas. So I bought 2 balls of that, and then my ongoing saga about knitting a jumper. I've got in my favourites in Ravelry lots of Fair Isle jumpers, and I have some patterns myself. So on with that, I bought, just to see what it would be like, and I want to have a test of it, because sometimes these, when they're acrylics, they just don't look nice and chunky and substantial to me. So I bought 2 balls in this hazelwood and 2 balls in this cement. And I have in my stock, I have some wool that will contrast. So I want like either a green, or that would look nice. It's not the right, but that would look nice. But I'm going to, these will always come in for something. I'm going to have a really good think and maybe go shopping and see, because it's when you're buying wool, which these Fair Isle jumpers are knitted in, like Aran, they tend to be knitted in 100% wool, and it's beautiful, but it irritates me unless I have a polo neck jumper on. And Fair Isle, you know, they're expensive. It's a big investment, so I'll have another think about that, and hopefully I might have got something started with my jumper the next time I come on and do a vlog. So, have I gone through everything? Yeah. Oh, also, I've been on Pinterest and saved lots and lots of Fair Isle jumpers as well. So I might send for a pattern to do. I'll come back to you with that one anyway. So, is that everything? I think I've gone through everything. Yes. So that's it. So I hope you are all getting on really well with your knitting, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing and for liking my videos. So I'll put on now my walk, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye.
the blue water lana up there.